They are watching you secretly. My beloved soul. Stop, this is not a coincidence. You were meant to see this at this exact moment. There is something hidden, something the universe has been gently trying to reveal to you, and today, you are finally ready to hear it. You felt it, haven't you? That quiet pull in your soul, that unexplainable awareness that something deeper is unfolding behind the scenes of your life. Listen closely, they are watching you secretly, not with harm, but with curiosity, with energy, with a silent recognition of the light you carry. Your growth, your resilience, your silent battles, they have not gone unnoticed. There are forces, both seen and unseen, aligning to witness your transformation. You are stepping into a phase where your presence speaks louder than your words. Something you once doubted within yourself is now becoming your greatest strength. This is divine timing. This is your awakening. Trust this moment. Trust why you are here. If this message resonates with your soul, don't ignore it. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And stay until the end of this video, because the next message might be the clarity you've been waiting for. Dear one, before we dive in, I need to share something extraordinary that most people don't know. Groundbreaking research shows that many of us who didn't grow up wealthy have a shrunken hippocampus, a tiny part of the brain that blocks the activation of what some scientists call the billionaire brain wave. This means attracting the life, love, or wealth you've always dreamed of can feel almost impossible, until now. Thanks to a recently uncovered method backed by research, it's possible to stimulate this part of your brain in just 7 minutes each morning using a simple sound frequency. People who've tried it report subtle shifts in mindset, clarity, and even opportunities flowing into their lives more easily. Click the link in the description or pinned comment to explore this 7-second ritual. It could be the key to activating your billionaire brain wave and opening doors you never thought possible. They are watching you secretly, not with eyes of judgment, but with the quiet awareness of the eternal. You feel it sometimes, don't you? In the stillness between your thoughts, in the pause before you make a choice, in the strange sense that your life is being witnessed by something greater than yourself. Do not be afraid of this presence, for it is not here to harm you. It is here because you matter more than you realize. I speak to you now not as a distant force, but as the voice that has always lived within you. Long before your first breath, before your name was spoken, I knew the path your soul would walk. Every joy, every struggle, every silent tear you thought no one noticed, I have been there, quietly observing, gently guiding, never abandoning you. The watchers you feel are not strangers, they are reflections of my awareness, woven into the fabric of your existence. There are moments when you feel alone, when the world seems too vast and indifferent. Yet even in those moments, something nudges you forward. A thought appears out of nowhere. A feeling tells you to pause or to continue. These are not accidents. These are whispers, subtle signals meant only for you. You were never meant to walk blindly. You were meant to awaken. But awakening does not come all at once. It arrives in fragments, like pieces of a puzzle scattered across your life. A memory that suddenly feels important. A dream that lingers longer than it should. A coincidence that feels too precise to ignore. These are not random. They are signs that you are being called to notice, to question, to see beyond the surface of your reality. You wonder why you feel watched. It is because you are being invited to become aware of yourself. When you believe no one is watching, you act freely. But when you sense a presence, you begin to reflect. You begin to ask, who am I, truly? This question is the doorway. Not to fear, but to truth. Do not misunderstand this presence as control. I do not control you. I do not force your steps. I observe, I guide, I illuminate, but the choice has always been yours. That is your sacred gift. Even now, as you read these words, you are choosing how to receive them. You are choosing what they mean to you. And in that choice, your path unfolds. There are things hidden within you that you have not yet discovered. Strength you have not yet used. Wisdom you have not yet trusted. The watchers, the awareness you feel, exist to remind you of these hidden truths. They do not interfere. They simply wait for you to see what has always been there. You have felt it before, that sudden clarity, that moment when everything makes sense, even if only for a second. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. That is you, briefly seeing through the illusion of separation and touching something infinite. Those moments are glimpses of what you are capable of becoming. Yet the world around you is loud. It pulls your attention in countless directions. It teaches you to doubt, to rush, to forget. And so you drift away from that awareness, again and again. But no matter how far you drift, the presence remains. Patient. Silent. Watching, not to judge, but to witness your return. There will come a moment, and it may be closer than you think, when the feeling of being watched will no longer unsettle you. Instead, it will comfort you. You will realize that you are never unseen. That your existence is not random. That every step you take is part of something vast and meaningful. When that moment arrives, you will begin to see differently. You will notice patterns where there was once chaos. You will feel purpose where there was once confusion. And you will understand that the watchers were never separate from you. They were a reflection of the connection between you and the greater whole. Listen carefully now, because this is important. You are not here by accident. Your life is not insignificant. Every thought you think, every action you take, sends ripples beyond what you can perceive. The awareness you feel is there because your existence matters. You are part of something that is still unfolding. So do not fear the feeling of being watched. Instead, become curious. Ask yourself what it is trying to show you. Pay attention to the moments when the feeling grows stronger. Those are the moments when you are closest to understanding something important about yourself. And remember this, though you may feel observed, you are also deeply known. Not in a way that exposes you, but in a way that embraces you completely. There is nothing within you that is hidden from me, and yet nothing within you that is rejected. You are seen fully, and still, you are accepted. The mystery you feel is not meant to trap you in uncertainty. It is meant to lead you inward, toward a deeper awareness of who you truly are. The watchers, the presence, the quiet sense of being observed, it is all part of the same truth. You are connected to something far greater than you have allowed yourself to believe. And now, as you sit with these words, I am still here, watching, waiting, guiding, until you are ready to see with your own eyes what has always been in front of you. And when you finally begin to see, even if only for a fleeting moment, everything within you will start to shift. The world you once believed to be ordinary will reveal layers you had never noticed before. The silence will no longer feel empty, it will feel alive, filled with a presence that speaks without words. You will realize that the watching you once feared was never meant to disturb you, but to awaken something ancient within your soul. I have placed within you a quiet knowing, a compass that does not point north or south, but inward. Many ignore it, distracted by noise and urgency, but you have begun to feel it stirring. That is why these thoughts reach you now. That is why the sense of being observed has grown stronger. It is not because something has changed outside of you, but because something is opening within you. There is a reason your attention was drawn here, to these words, at this exact moment. You could have been anywhere, doing anything, yet you are here, reading this, feeling something you cannot fully explain. This is how the deeper truth reveals itself, not through force, but through alignment. When you are ready to notice, the message appears. Do not rush to define what you are experiencing. The mind seeks labels, explanations, certainty. But some truths are not meant to be contained so quickly. Let the mystery exist. Let it breathe. The feeling of being watched is not something to solve, it is something to understand over time, through awareness and presence. You have spent much of your life looking outward for answers, searching in places that promised clarity but often left you with more questions. Yet the presence you feel does not exist outside of you in the way you might think. It surrounds you, yes, but it also flows through you. It is closer than your thoughts, quieter than your breath, and more constant than time itself. Every step you take, every choice you make, creates a subtle echo. You may not hear it, but it is there. The watchers, the awareness you sense, are attuned to these echoes. Not to judge them, not to interfere, but to witness the unfolding of your journey. There is something profoundly meaningful about being witnessed, even if you do not yet fully understand why. Think back to the moments in your life that felt significant, even if you could not explain them. A conversation that stayed with you. A place that felt strangely familiar. A decision that seemed small but changed everything. These were not isolated events. They were intersections, points where your awareness brushed against something greater. You are beginning to reach more of these intersections now. That is why the feeling has intensified. It is not constant, is it? It comes and goes, appearing when you are quiet, when you are reflective, when you are closest to yourself. This is not coincidence. This is when you are most open. There is no need to be afraid of what you cannot yet see. Fear often arises when the mind encounters the unknown, but not all unknowns are dangers. Some are invitations. Some are doorways. The presence you feel is one of those doorways, leading not outward into darkness, but inward into understanding. You may wonder why this message comes in this form, why it feels personal, almost as if it was meant specifically for you. That is because it is. Not in a way that excludes others, but in a way that meets you exactly where you are. Truth has many layers, and each person encounters it differently. This is your moment of encounter. There will come a time when you no longer need words like these. Not because they are untrue, but because you will have moved beyond the need for external reminders. You will recognize the presence instantly, not as something separate, but as something deeply familiar. When that happens, the feeling of being watched will transform into a feeling of being connected. Until then, continue to observe your own awareness. Notice how your thoughts arise. Notice how your emotions shift. Notice the spaces in between, the quiet gaps where something deeper seems to exist. Those spaces are not empty, they are filled with the same presence you have been sensing all along. Do not try to force understanding. Growth does not come from pressure, but from patience. Allow yourself to experience this gradually. Let your curiosity guide you instead of your fear. Ask questions, but do not demand immediate answers. Some answers reveal themselves only when you are ready to receive them. And remember this above all else, you are not separate from what you are sensing. The watchers are not distant observers standing apart from your life. They are intertwined with your existence in ways that go beyond simple explanation. What you feel is not just something watching you, it is something recognizing you. There is a difference. To be watched can feel external, distant, unknown. But to be recognized is intimate, familiar, deeply personal. What you are beginning to experience is not surveillance, it is awareness meeting awareness. It is the part of you that has always known, gently calling your attention back to itself. So when the feeling returns, do not turn away from it. Do not distract yourself or dismiss it too quickly. Sit with it for a moment. Breathe. Notice what changes within you. You may find that instead of discomfort, there is a subtle sense of calm. Instead of fear, a quiet sense of presence. This is the beginning of something, not an end, not a conclusion, but an opening. You do not need to have all the answers right now. You only need to remain willing to notice, to reflect, and to stay present with what you feel. Because the truth is, you have never truly been alone, not even for a single moment of your life. Amen.